Hitchcock with Marcus Wall. Hold on. This is Jimmy Hitchcock with Marcus Wall. This is a Hitch and Wall show. It's a podcast about Carolina football, Carolina alumni, and the upcoming season coming with Bill Belichick, the new hire, the new coach, and the new culture. Some of the things that we're going to be talking about is directly about that, but we're also going to talk about other things as well. Like today, we're going to talk about what's going on in the NFL and in the playoffs and things like that. Some of the records that's being set. We're going to talk about Mike Evans a little bit, I think, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to introduce my partner in crime, Marcus Wall, and my safety that used to cover my back, Sean Boyd. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing great.
Fantastic. We get right into it. Let's talk a little bit about the portal and what's happened with Carolina football as far as the portal is concerned. Did we get any good players, or what's going on with the portal? Wall, give us an update.
Something that I did notice about this, even though I am the receiver, the prima donna type, I had to see what we were doing in the trenches, right? Because anybody who knows football understands that games are won and lost by what we pick up in the trenches, what you do in the trenches.
Right.
If you have a physical team and they're big up front, then you pretty much got a shot at something here.
Exactly.
So what I looked at is we got 3 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen committed early. We got the Kelly kid from Holy Cross, and then just a little research on him. You know, he was a 2-time All-Patriot League player, supposed to be pretty good. So, you know, it's one that you can see. And then what is this Kelly kid? He is, I don't have his measurables, but he's definitely over that 6'3" mark.
Okay.
And then we have the Miles McVay from Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Which, you know, 6'6", 342. Now, again, that's a mountain of a man.
Absolutely.
Will he bring that physicality with him?
Right.
Will be the question. And so I'm sure they've done some research on him. Again, the thing about him is he's a freshman coming in. So we will see how he responds. Chad Lambert from Rice, 6'6", 315. He'll be a 3-year guy. No, 2-year guy.
2-year guy.
Of eligibility. Yeah, 2-year guy.
2 years left of eligibility.
Yeah.
That's good.
And so, you know, that part of it is good. In the defensive line, there's this Malachi Abu Jude.
Okay.
And I'm sure I'm probably not pronouncing it right.
Right.
But just understand it.
Right.
I tried with real
and he shouldn't be offended. Gave it a great try.
The thing about it is he's supposed to be a speed guy, 6'5", 260. I guess coming off that edge, I'm thinking. And then now the CJ Mims kid is a guy that I'm familiar with, who just seeing him work out previously, seeing him play previously, and really coming out of high school, he had quite a few schools in the ACC, in our area, in the region. Like, he just was one of those guys. He went to ECU initially, and his brother transferred in from Campbell so they could play together.
Gotcha.
But this kid, man, really, I wonder, will he excel the way that I'm hoping that he can? He's just at 6'2", 296. He was a dog coming out of high school. Now, I'm not sure what happened as far as ECU. It's not a lot of stats to his name there. But if he can get close to anything that he was previously, you got a very, very good one.
Awesome. Now, Boyd, do you know anybody coming out of Gas House area that we can get up here to Carolina and get committed? Is there any good players right now, or do you know?
Yeah, I got some good talent down here, but I wouldn't put them under the burner as far as making a Carolina team.
Oh,
I think
okay.
they have better starts, JUCO and everything else, because not saying the coaching down here is terrible or anything else, but it's just that and Walls, when I go down the street to see Coach P Perry and Rock Hill, I'm talking about the divide in coaching and everything else.
Different.
It's so different. I can go down to Rock Hill and watch 5, 6, 7-year-olds that know the route tree.
Wow.
Running off.
Yeah, right. Like, you go down to the Rock Hill, it's a whole different ball game down there, bro. It's a totally different ball game. Yeah. I totally understand it. But Walt, what about you? I mean, you the coach down in your area. Name a couple of players that Coach Belichick need to be on the lookout for to bring into the Carolina culture and Carolina program.
Out of everybody at this very moment, I would definitely say it would be the kid from 71st.
Okay.
He played quarterback, played safety in certain situations, but he's just a top athlete. He would be excellent at a receiver or DB, definitely safety. He's a tough kid. He is, I mean, when I tell you physical, absolutely positively physical.
Okay, what we're gonna do is if you can get some of his clips, I'm gonna put them on here on this podcast so people can see him, so you can see his work. You know what I'm saying, and how you speak on him. And what's his name again?
Hold, give me 1 second. Let me look up DeAndre Full Joint. I'll give you his measurables and everything.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is the people that I'm gonna ask everybody this, and as soon as Eric Thomas start talking to me again, I'm gonna get him to bring to get give me some names, because he got a whole depth chart. I'm sure in his head,
So here's Nance, DeAndre Nance.
Nance. Okay.
Yep. 6'3", 190.
Wow.
Yeah. When I tell you, can absolutely
6'3",
sling
190.
it. 6'3", 190, can sling it, man. But I honestly see him as a real athlete.
Can do
at the next level.
Right.
He's honestly a Sunday kid. He's been to the state championship twice in basketball. No, twice in football, once in basketball, and they'll probably go again this year to the state championship. And he's played varsity for his 4 years in high school. He's been that starting quarterback. He's been
DeAndre Nance. DeAndre Nance.
Super athlete. What, a 3.7 GPA?
Yeah. Please, we send after we finish this podcast, send me some clips on here. I'm gonna put them on while we're talking about them, and we're gonna be showing them. We're gonna be showing his clips, so that so that we can give Belichick some heads up. It's a guy that came out of Moxville that was in the portal. I wish we were the guy. He was a punter. He was the best punter in the country at the time, but I don't know if we can get it. We could get him, but he was out of Moxville, and I wish we could have got him because he wanted to come home and his brother go to Carolina.
That'd been great.
But he ended up going. He ended up signing. They gave him some NIL money, so he jumped on it. You know what I'm saying?
That changes the game.
That changes the whole outlook on things. You know what I'm saying? And people wanted to lock him up quick. Dude, like doing 80-yard punts, dog.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
That's out of Moxville, the field for real.
In Davie County, yeah. So yeah, we want to highlight these kids that are going to be in our program, or hopefully be in our program.
Correct.
We want to put word out and show the talent of these kids coming along, because some of these seniors are going to get left out, and I don't,
more than some.
It's more than some. Yeah, it's going to be a bunch of seniors that's going to get left out with the new JUCO rule. People are going to have to go to the JUCO, right? And the eligibility, you still got 4 years after you do 2 years JUCO, so you still got 4 years. That's 6 years in college.
Right.
Boy, it's getting wild, ain't it?
The difference is you get money while you're there, though.
You get money. Yeah, that's the difference. That's the big, like, if you're getting bread, that changes the whole game. You want to chill out. You want to make your home there. You know what I'm saying? Make a family
Right.
because you can afford it. Whereas we couldn't afford it. You
No.
know? No, we couldn't afford it. That's the
I think that's the new reclassifying. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's the whole different reclassification, man. It's beautiful. But what do you call a 6-year senior? I guess they're gonna be going to grad school.
A man.
A grown man. A grown ass man, right?
Yeah, that's what you'll call it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
perfect
exactly
answer.
that was a perfect name for it. So to transition from that, we're going to talk about college football in its entirety. And the one thing that I do see in Notre Dame is that we could actually be like Notre Dame. Like,
Yeah.
we could actually be like Notre Dame because they have, big front, they have strong defense. They don't have such incredible offense, but they play good, structured, very disciplined defense, right? And that could be us next year. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we could be on a national championship level. It could possibly be, but I can see us developing a program to where we have a lot of bigs and a lot of guys that really know where to be, know how to do things, know how to, what I'm saying, know how to execute the plays and execute the scheme. And once you get guys that are smart like that, you can build a program that gets you to the next level, And I can kind of see Carolina looking a lot like this Notre Dame team that's in the playoffs this year. I'm seeing that's kind of the Carolina structure in my mind. That's how it's playing out in my mind. How do you see that? Do you see that any type of team that's in the playoffs or in this run right now that maybe mirror or we can mirror that type of image or that type of play?
You want it, boy?
Yeah, I think that with everything being wide open like it is now, I think that we can start a blueprint with Belichick, with being, Mac Brown's time with recruiting everything else was let's keep everybody home. We get the kids that's in North Carolina, we can dominate. So now just open it up, and you got the money to back it up. Why should I limit myself to just North Carolina? We can get the best players out of North Carolina, but we can also go and get the best kids in Georgia and Texas and everything else. And if they align it and had a perfect storm going like we had when we was in college, that I mean, you're looking at 5 stars all around.
Right. No. I mean, just like our class, we had like 6-7 guys from that class going to play in the pros for years.
Right.
And I'm talking about guys that just like Tito Wooten. Right. Got kicked out of school, went to a JUCO, ended up being a Pro Bowler for the Giants. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike Watkins went to the JUCO, ended up playing with, Washington Redskins, Kansas City. I mean, we had Riddick Parker end up getting going overseas playing in Europe, end up coming back, end up winning the Super Bowl with the Patriots. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We just had a whole bunch of guys. Bernardo Harris, William Henderson, to me, is a Hall of Fame fullback.
Yes.
Should be. Definitely.
So should be a Hall of Fame fullback. Natron Means, we had a whole bunch of guys in our group that went to the league, and a lot of them from North Carolina and Virginia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what we need to start doing is start getting the guys like we had in the past that, some of them come from great families and some of them didn't. So some of them had good academic structure and some of them didn't. It's just that good mix of fellas that you can get that can build a culture, but you better bring in those dogs. You better bring in those guys who love it and will give their life to the game, right? Because that's what they're there for. They want to get to the next level. So I'm looking forward to, and I think Belichick knows this. He got to get them. He got to get those hungry dogs and bring those in. Speak on that, All.
Well, I think we can use that exact same model as Notre Dame, to answer your question, because it's not flashy, it's not something that's just everybody's enamored by, but in those trenches, that's where it's at.
Right.
Anybody who knows anything about football knows the trenches is where the game is won and lost 90 to 95% of the time.
Absolutely.
And if we take that model, because now they push Georgia around pretty daggone good.
They did.
Pretty daggone good now.
Pretty decently.
And they talk about Georgia's defense being one of the best.
Right.
Well, they just didn't look at that night.
Exactly. And it's
Notre
because
Dame was doing the bullying.
They was getting hit back. They was getting hit back.
I agree with you 100%. So yes, I do believe that we can definitely do that and take that model and be successful for sure.
Absolutely. Okay. And there's another it's like a sideline or a backline story with the coaches, the two coaches that's coaching for Penn State and Notre Dame, and they're black,
right?
Black coaches. And there has been a coach that won a national championship that's been African American, which we really don't think about much anymore. Some people do, some people don't. They're going to get asked about that and get questions about it. But what do you guys think about it? Starting with you, Boyd. Let's go with you.
Well, considering this coming from African American male,
right,
that is involved in football to a point, I think that you should have more of what the team is made of, consisted of, just for relating with the players and everything else. I mean, you should have a head guy that can relate to most of the players, and with teams mostly being 85%, if not more, African American or colored. You should have that in place, and I think that you have white coaches, everything else. You have the Tim Brewsters. I mean, he can go to.
Right. He can go either way. Yeah. Like he get that call. He get a pass. He get that pass.
Saturday the same way. You had those guys, but I think that you can see, like, just in play call and everything else, it's a little type of aggressiveness, and I'm not backing down, and they got to bring it. You got to show me basically what you got.
Right.
And we're going all out. We're going to win. We're playing to win. We ain't playing to lose. It's just a whole different dynamic, and I think that the representation of players should be.
Hold on one second. Oh boy, I'm on the podcast. D, I'm on the podcast. All right.
That's all good. I got that. Yeah. So you were speaking on it should be some representation at every level.
Did y'all hear him say he said tell y'all what's up? Brother-in-law. He said tell the boys I said what's up.
It's all good. What's up, man? What's up, brother-in-law?
He said what up, brother-in-law?
Yeah. So we need representation at pretty much every level, right?
You see how a lot of the guys get passed by and everything. You see them floating everywhere from OCs, defense coordinators, everything else. But that's what basically the team is, basically. And then you have, NFL, it's a name tag. He'll be my offensive administrative helper of the coach, head coach. They just broaden the name to make it
right.
He got the hams. He's doing all the work and everything else, but somebody else getting the credit for it.
Yeah.
I think that, streamline it. Let's just make it basic. The head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, linebacker, put that on it. Make the tag simple and call it what it is, and you'll see a lot more representation from our parts of it.
Yeah.
But once you start lengthening them names, you can have the man on the bottom of the barrel doing all the work while somebody else gets credit.
Yeah. Go ahead, Wall.
I think it's good for football. I think that at this point in this day and age, there should be more black head coaches. Actually, coaches, period.
Coaches, period. Yeah.
I mean, just honestly, period. But to have two at this stage in the game is big, and I would like to see it because I think that it's two good teams that could play. I don't know if Penn State will be able to get it done. I'm confident with Notre Dame at this point, but I don't think Penn State can get it done.
It's going to be hard for either one of those teams to beat Ohio State. I mean, because Ohio State's probably coming out the other side, right? So it's going to be very difficult for either team to beat Ohio State. But just like you said, I don't see Penn State having the dogs in the trenches.
Right.
So get the guys in the trenches from Notre Dame, we think can maybe handle them, hang in there, and maybe make it a great game. But as far as the representation is concerned, my perspective is it's about time. It's about time that we have some guys that got there and are representing at the highest of levels that you can represent. National championship game, you're going to be on the stage. I know you don't like the questions, coaches. I know you don't like the questions of the it's basically a color questions. Oh, you black. Oh, you are in the national championship game. I know it kind of makes you feel a little inside and makes your stomach boil a little bit because you're saying that you're just a coach. But you know what? It's a lot of us as out here that's proud of you, and you look like us, and the kids that look like you are going to be looking toward you in the future and saying, I can be that. So please take it as a compliment that people are asking you these things. But I understand that sometimes it gets a little bit, you don't want to answer the questions, and it should not ever be about color. But, we do live in America.
I have a question for you with that being said, though, right? For both of you all. So what do you feel the issue is with getting coaches in position, black coaches in position to become, head coaches or coordinators, things such as that nature? Because we already know the scales definitely aren't even close. But let's make it a two-part question.
Okay.
What do you think the issue is, and what can we do to change that?
Okay, I think systematically is reach down and bring one up. If you don't have one of us reaching down to bring one of us up, that's null and void already. So you have the good old boy system. You have you build relationships and everything else. So you're just caught up in the way it's always been. So until somebody comes and makes that change, like you said, what we got going on now, we got two guys representing us and real favorably everything else. But let's look and try and see where they are in 5 more years when everything's streamlined and everything else. They might be
with money now that the money's involved.
Yeah,
well, so, what I think that should happen is I think that what they should do is do what the NFL does, which is kind of open up positions like internships to bring guys in. And you should first look to the guys that's played at, at your university, at that particular university. And you open it up so that guys can come in. Say you open up 10 spots as internships, right? And guys come in there and they learn coaching principles and things like that. Then maybe they go into high school coaching, but you still got your eye on these coaches that you're actually, grooming and teaching about your program, right? So, how the winning culture goes. So when that next guy retires or gets fired, you'll have a pool of guys to look at that you've actually groomed. You've actually
Right.
groomed in your program. You know these people, you know their history. You've brought them in, you've talked to them, you've already interviewed them, you already, just things like that you can do is, and it doesn't have to be that you go back and hire the guy that you actually groomed. I'm saying
Right.
but you have the option. You have
Correct.
the option, and you give these guys an opportunity to put themselves in front of you to show you what they can do, right? So I think that a little internship program would help, just like the NFL's doing. And if they do develop something like that, I think you'll see a lot more African Americans guys come through that system, or a system similar to that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You remember the NFL had something like that going on. Remember?
They still do.
Nate
Yeah,
went and coached when Carolina had the two-headed tailbacks. Both of them got
Right.
thousands and everything else. And then, like I said, you see where the projection 5 years later, where are they and everything else. With that kind of resume up under you, and I'm coming in and I'm getting these guys. It ain't easy getting 2,000-yard rushers on the same team, first off. And, coaching goes a long way with that. So why did Nate not stick somewhere in the NFL? You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I mean, it's a lot to be said about that, because a lot of the guys that coach in the NFL did not play pro ball, a lot of them didn't play college ball.
Let's not get started.
Yeah.
Not get started.
we saying the same thing here.
Right. We are saying the same.
Oh my God.
So it's a lot of so the decision making becomes with a person who hadn't really played, at a high level. So that the decision making, and that guy that's really the decision maker is very similar to the owner, in that the owner didn't play and the owner didn't. Owner did. You see what I'm saying? So they can really relate more than the guys that played even up to the pros. They can relate more with that coach than they can with the players.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And a lot of the coaches and a lot of the owners actually get really intimidated by a 6'4" linebacker head coach. You see what I'm saying? He looking down at you, talking, what I mean? So, and this guy's like a beast. This guy a beast,
right?
So the intimidation factor is there. And I heard some of that going around when Vrabel was going through the interview process. A lot of guys were intimidated by him, and Vrabel has an intimidating type of personality.
He was a big time linebacker.
He's a big time linebacker.
All pro, like that. That's what you want.
Right. That's what you want in your locker room,
right?
But that's not what they want in the boardroom.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So
Correct.
it's easier for them to get a guy that's not really played and that comes from a line or a tree that someone else built, like the Shanahans.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And the McVays, they played college ball, but they didn't play. They didn't play.
Right.
Right.
So, but those guys are some of the best coaches, and I'm not, and they have tremendous abilities as far as coaching is concerned. But then you have those that don't, like
really don't,
and they shouldn't be coaching, but you can tell, you can't, and I'm not going to get too far into this, but that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that another day. But as far as the representation is concerned, I think that you have to build a system to get representation, because the current system is not going to bring forth representation, period, because there's not enough of us in there to be able to take that head job, or to, when you sift them out, we're going to be the first ones that's going to get sifted.
Right.
So I'm gonna go from that conversation because we can go on all day about that. But I wanna go to you, boy, with this one. What's your craziest UNC story?
Craziest UNC
Wait, do I have time for popcorn?
Yeah, your craziest football story. I mean, outside of the fights.
Okay. Let me go to
outside of the knockouts on Franklin Street.
I did not say a thing, Boondog. I did not say a thing. I did not say a thing. I did not. Just make it clear. You can rewind the tape. I did not say anything.
Yeah.
I go to one. You know, every story that probably I have from Carolina gonna have Bruce Johnson in it.
Right.
Okay.
God bless his soul. Yeah.
This one I knew what football really was.
Okay.
I think I think it was going in my junior year. I was kind of feeling myself. You know, I got to start early. But I tried to get me a little lab, right? And, you know, I practice days and everything else. So I timed this lab to come right before practice so I can miss half of practice.
I remember that.
You know, Coach Johnson called me to the office like, "Hey, Sean, yeah, hey, Coach, what's going on with your classes, Coach? Well, you know, I got this lab. I needed to graduate. Hey, Sean, shut the door. Shutting the door, everything else. Sit your ass down. Listen, you came here to play school and study football." I said, "Coach, what you mean?"
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Play school and study football. That lab did not have X's and O's in it. Not attending that lab, Sean.
Oh, that's Bruce Johnson, a classic. Right there. That's a classic.
I love it.
Classic.
I love it.
And he sent me out and said, "Go see BD and get that class changed." My feelings was hurt. I'm a student athlete, Hitch. Well, I'm a student athlete. I'm here to learn.
He told you straight up.
Yeah.
Go to
he let you know.
Go tell Brian, take
right now
class out of here.
A colorful word. I didn't say a colorful word.
That was Coach Johnson, bro. That's beautiful. That was beautiful. Whoa, give me one.
Mine was with Brian Davis, the academic coordinator. You know, when you come in as a freshman, he asks you, "Hey, what do you want to take?" You know, and so I said, "I didn't come here for that. I came to play football." He was like, "No, you can't say that. Marcus, wait, you can't say that, Marcus. No." Right. So I'm like, "BD, you just tell me where to go, what class that I need to take. But that's not what I can't. No, don't, man. If somebody hear you say that, everything will be the world fall over. You can't do that, Marcus. You have to be able to tell me. I'm telling you, I'm going to go because this is what I have to do to play football."
Right.
So now, I'm here for one thing. I know it comes along with a couple things. Only thing you gotta do is just tell me where to go, what classes to be, and I'll be there. Right. From then on, me and BD never had any major issues.
Right. Hey. Right. They just
tell me which way to go.
Tell me where to go, bro. Tell me where to go.
I know I got to hold on to make sure I'm able to play.
Yeah. Hey, my favorite one is Bracey Walker and Bruce Johnson.
Oh.
We're in the meeting and he calling on everybody, get people, you know how you do. You got to know every single situation, every single route combination, what's coming over at you, the whole nine. If you don't know that tree, you don't know what's coming at you, he gonna call you out. Boy, him and Bracey, they started down that road, and Bracey jumped up straight in his face and was like, "Do you understand?" Bracey was like, "Yes, sir." Hey. He jumped up in his face. Yes, sir. Hey, I was like, wow. This is gonna be a hey. And Bruce Johnson, he looked like he could get you. He could.
That's
Look
the
like he could
deal,
go.
though.
He
Coach
looked like
Johnson.
he could go.
Coach Johnson was the type of guy I used to tell people. I said, man, Coach Johnson, he'll get in your face and talk junk to you, make you want to fight. But
Right.
Coach Johnson is the kind of guy if you get in a fight with, he gonna grab your balls. He gonna
Right.
he
gonna play. He gonna fight dirty. You know he gonna fight dirty. He gonna
good.
pick up the nearest thing. He gonna hit you upside the head.
Whatever. Well,
Yeah,
that's
he
what
gonna-
fighting is. But that's why y'all were good at that point, though.
Bro,
that's why y'all was balling back there
that's one
because y'all
thing that I
had
can
that
say.
mentality.
That's one thing that I can say. That dude really, really stressed. I'm gonna tell you this is another one too. This dude had us doing back pedal, that whole, you know, how the first part of practice when we do back pedals and breaks, and he had us doing it for like 45 minutes, man. One time he was breaking us all down, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, not the 100-yard field,
Right.
but side to side, no,
Side to side.
and then
back, forward, back pedal. And because we had like a bad practice
Right.
the day before, and he was running us into the ground, backpedaling. And he had them breaking down. He had us all breaking down. Like, boy went to one knee. I was like, boy, get up. I was like, get up, boy, right now. Don't let him break you, boy. Don't let him break. I was like, get up right now. Do not let this man break you. Don't let him see you sweat, bro. I was so mad at boy. I was like, boy, get up. You know. I was like, hey, he got up.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about that was at about 30 minutes of just, and we did it for 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. And it was hard doing it 10, 15 minutes.
Right.
We did it for 45 minutes, man.
Just going
back.
Oh, so you're telling me the whole indie time, y'all was pretty much just doing that drill.
All we was doing was just drills, bro. Back pedal break, back pedal break, back pedal break, back pedal. I mean, for 45 minutes, man. And this dude would not stop, bro.
The result proved to be something, though.
Bro.
And then we come straight to y'all and expect us to do good.
Right. Yeah. And he comes straight right after that. We come straight to y'all. We skip. You know how it go, the team with Torbush bringing us in team. We skip that. You know what I'm saying? We went from that to one-on-ones.
Yeah.
And once we got the one-on-ones, everybody's getting toasted.
Well, I mean, but wait, now that was the norm. Y'all getting toasted.
Come on now, come on.
That was, y'all, anytime y'all went against us, y'all was getting toasted.
Buck gonna be a couple of in a week or so. I used to handle Buck now. I used to have a Buck. I used to toss y'all around, but you know. But hey, I'm telling you, Bruce Johnson, he made us rude, man. He made that word come out of our mouth.
Yeah,
he definitely did.
The legacy that he made, man. He what I say, at least 65-70% of the guys that he coached at Carolina end up going to the league or getting a shot.
Yeah.
And when he left Carolina and went to South Carolina, those guys was going to the league.
That's right.
He had some mojo with him, man.
He was a good coach, man. But the only thing he was just wouldn't let us play press man enough. You know, that's the only thing. We played a lot of cover 2, a lot of cover 4. You know, but that dude was a dog. And I'm gonna say this one last thing about Coach Torbush, and he's passed away too. Yeah. 2 of the greatest coaches that we had has passed, you know. And Coach Torbush was a great person. I mean, you know, he's Christian, big time Christian. Mm-hmm. And the dude, we skipped study hall one time, and we all wanted to go see the MC Hammer concert. You know what I'm saying? So we go down to see the MC Hammer concert down at the Dean Dome, and we at the door, slipping in the door, and guess who coming out? Torbush. I'm confused, I'm confused as hell. So I pull Coach Torbush to the side and say, "What the hell you doing? What are you doing here? Like you like Hammer?" and he was like, Hitchcock, that guy got better feet than you got. he was like, you see those moves? You see those moves, Hitchcock? That boy got better moves than you got, boy. He was like, now what y'all doing here?
Supposed to be in study hall.
The next day we got crushed.
Oh
my God, we got
Coach got mad at me one time in practice because I cracked back on Rick Steinbacher. Listen, because you know we doing our 7-on-7, and Rick used to always try to come and boom knock me out, which he's supposed to. You know, I'm crossing the middle. He's supposed to put hands.
Absolutely.
But like Rick used to try to kill him, so I had to juke him and go across, and you know, when I see him. And finally, I was like, "Oh no! When I get my shot, buddy, you better." I lit Rick up. Rick, boom, feet in the
you got him.
You dang great! Don't you do that? That's your teammate. So guess what I said? You better tell him to stop trying to get me coming across the middle there. And I just kept walking.
Teammate go
Coach
2 ways.
Was like, yeah, but listen, when I tell you, that's the first time I seen his top blow that on tour bush. You dang great! I can't believe you did your teammate that way. You know better, Marcus. You can. Like,
absolutely. All right, man. We had a good conversation here. Anything else you want to touch on? I want to touch on, first of all, who y'all got for the Super Bowl. I want to talk about it right now before y'all start, you know what I'm saying, jumping on the bandwagon. I want y'all to pick somebody right now.
Taylor Swift.
They going back. They three-peat. It's a three-peat.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift three-peat. Wow.
It's really hard to go against Mahomes.
It is.
But you could really see the state of the team without him today.
Yeah.
They were really average to bad. Actually looked like a new franchise.
Yeah.
It did not.
It was 10 starters out, though. They took 10 starters out. Kelsey was out, too. A couple of defense. So they looked really bad, but without Mahomes, they don't even have no cohesiveness. They're not even a team.
Yeah, but I mean, Kelsey was subpar this year. I had him on my fantasy team. I was glad to have him. He did me dirty. He did me dirty.
Yeah, he did everybody dirty.
But I don't know. I would have to go with Ravens or Bills. I'm really not sure on that end.
Okay.
And then I'll take Philly.
You gonna take Philly to win it all?
Yeah, I'll take Philly to win it all.
Dang, that's a bold prediction.
It is.
Okay. I'm gonna go against the grain, and I'm gonna pick Lamar Jackson this year. I'm gonna pick Lamar, and the reason why I'm gonna pick Lamar is because the defense has shored up, and that safety. What's his name? I forget his name. I'll think of it in a minute. But that safety that just came back, I think number 14, number 12. Mm-hmm. That's the best safety in the league. And like they were terrible until he was hurt for a while, and they was terrible. But the defense is playing good right now. So I'm gonna take the Ravens.
What about that nose guard they got running the ball?
Oh, yes, sir. Derrick Henry.
He makes a difference now. But
he made the difference.
But I think that they're stopping Derrick Henry themselves. They don't run him enough.
Right. Not enough.
I believe they're playing defense against themselves.
You can't run them enough.
Yeah,
that's the king.
Exactly. You let that big horse go head on, because early they're gonna be wanting to strike him. Come the fourth quarter, you're like, man, move out the way, stop this now. Y'all need to quit. This is not fair.
Absolutely. All right, man. So we came here to talk about a few things, had a good time talking about it. It's a Hitch and Wall show. We out.